What's the latest on this? How extensive is this effort that Facebook has identified?
Well, we are being let in on this effort in the very early stages. Sandberg said on the call that this is earlier than they would usually bring people in from the public, but they have been informing Congress, they've been informing the FBI, they've been trying to work with the government to figure out who's doing this. And I think the biggest question now is what was the actor behind this? As she said, they have been a lot more careful about disguising their identities. We don't know enough yet, or at least Facebook tells us that they don't know enough yet to say whether this was Russia. Of course, a lot of Congress people and senators are saying that they believe that this is Russia. We do not know enough yet to say whether that's the case.
Okay, so in the meantime, though, they've identified this ongoing campaign to influence the midterm elections, in particular, removing 32 fake accounts as well as pages. In terms of pushback or fallout from this, I just wanted to bring in a tweet that Scott Galloway, professor at NYU Stern School of Business, just published. He says, if a firm wittingly or unwittingly becomes weaponized by Russian intelligence repeatedly, isn't the responsible thing to do to shut the firm down? Is there any kind of outcry among anyone about how Facebook could have handled this better, or perhaps taken the more aggressive action of shutting things down for a while they sort it out?
Shutting down Facebook itself, I mean, I think that would make it difficult to find what's happening. The company doesn't want to be in the position of being our only barrier between these threats. They want to be able to rely more on the government, rely more on our intelligence agencies to help parse through what they should be following in terms of tips. They said they've gotten thousands of tips to follow up on. I mean, I think that the company has been investing a lot in this, but as Sandberg said on the call, they're never going to get to the point where they're one step ahead of the actors are always going to be catching up the same way they do in defending security of a platform, the same way you do in trying to fight spam. They're always going to have another thing that they try to get past the detection. So it's going to be a constant battle.
You know, Sarah, I want to pick up on something that you said, Sheryl Sandberg, noting that this is earlier than Facebook normally would tell people. Is it partly because they're trying to get ahead of the issue, show that they're being proactive to the public, and is this working?
Well, last week, Facebook had a separate call with journalists where they were trying to sort of demystify how they work to combat these threats. And so a lot of people asked them, well, have you found any threats? Have you seen anything? And Facebook said, oh, you know, we're not in a position to tell you. And that caused a lot of disappointment because, you know, if the company is making these grand promises about how they will protect the elections, how they will make sure that there's no foreign meddling and interference in the democratic process, then we kind of want to know, well, what are you seeing? What are you finding? How is it working? And so this week, I think that it's almost a little bit in response to that as well, in addition to the fact that that protest is coming up soon that did involve these folks. They were slammed by the public for not disclosing early enough the fact that Russia tried to intervene in the 2016 election. So now they're trying to make up for that mistake.